Okay, y'all. So there's a lot of drama going on, not only with SWV and Escape, but also with Kandi and with Tamar. Now, we're going to do this video in two parts. Part one is going to be the news that surrounded the episode and the news that is continuing to break with Tamar and Kandi. And then we're also going to get into the review in the second part of this video. So if you've come for the review, rest assured, we're going to get to that. But before we get into that, I think we need to get into the other tea first. Now, the first thing that I want to point out to you is our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk happened to catch the fact that Escape and Tamar are on the bill for the R&B music experience for a show coming up on Saturday, April 1st. So there could be another run-in. Now, the Neighborhood Talk happened to catch the fact that that Escape name is at the top of that bill alongside Monica. So I'm wondering is this a co-headlining type of situation? Because, baby, these headlining things is off the hook, okay? It is off the hook. Not only that, all right, but we also got the receipts of Tamar's fiance approaching Todd and having that conversation man to man. So Tamar posted this, and again, the Neighborhood Talk, listen, it's the Neighborhood Talk all over this, baby. Tamar says, I'm done talking about it. Obviously, it happened. Kandi wants to deflect and condone her man's behavior by calling me a victim, shaking my head. It's abusive and disrespectful, and it's never okay for a man to step to a woman. Fans don't have to agree, period. Everyone have a nice day. God is so good. Watch hashtag Queen's Court and stream my new song, Changed. P.S. I spy with my little eye the truth. So what you will notice is, in the background, Tamar's man is having a little ponderosa with what appears to be Todd. All right. Now, there's that. Now, Kandi is not only engaged in this battle, but she is also engaged in yet another battle with the ladies from SWV. Okay. So it's right now Escape versus SWV. Mostly, I would say Kandi and Tiny versus SWV. So on our friends over at the reality chat page, they happen to catch some tweets from Kandi. She says, I never said they didn't sell more records. This is regards to what we're going to be talking about in the episode recap. But I want to give you guys a preface for what really a basis for what we're going to be talking about. So I want you guys to understand it before we actually get into it. Kandi says, I never said that they didn't sell more records, but the concert is about who can sell more tickets. Be upset if you want, but we've done other shows since the tour and the promoter still had SWV go on before this. She's responding when a commenter said, you always have an excuse for coming in second place. The sales and streaming numbers don't lie. People went to that Escape tour because they figured it would be the last time seeing 4 members on stage, and it looks like they were right. So then Tiny chimed in and says, of course their manager thinks that they should co-headline. This is going to play out in our recap as well. And then Tiny says, we're not talking record sales. We're talking ticket sales. And then she says, but business is business. So you want us to take a pay cut and give them a raise? I don't care what the flyers say, but that billing has to add up. So this is in response to the idea that obviously whoever's at the top billing is likely getting paid more, right? So then Lily from SWV chimes in and says, one thing about us, we've been doing this ish for a minute. We know how the industry works, and we know the level of responsibility as an artist. We've given our headlining spots to other acts just because we wanted to go back to the hotel and sleep. LOL. The music will always stand. Then she says, this here internet got people acting real gangsta. Keep that same energy, boo-boo chicken. So that's got to be a direct hit at the people doing the talking, and that would be Kandi and Tiny. So then, listen, it does not end, okay? Because the ladies of SWV are throwing some shade at Escape's direction because Coco reposted a tweet from Billionaire 1911. It says Xscape, 3 out of 4, had a show in November and was not the headliner. Monica was the headliner and BBD was on before her. They don't always headline. Not sure why Xscape can't co-headline with SWV. Creating entertaining show for the fans with all original members. Why do the television show if there was never a desire to have equal billing for a tour? Okay. So then there is a post that seems to actually substantiate this claim, the Nashville R&B music experience with Monica and friends. Okay. And it appears that Monica is the headliner with the 3 members of Xscape, right? So it says Nashville R&B music experience, Monica and friends. Monica, Belle Biv DeVoe, Drew Hill, then Xscape, then Next, then Genuine, and then 112. So Coco also posted some monthly stats, okay? Basically, those monthly stats indicate SWV monthly listeners is at 3 million. Xscape monthly listeners is at 800,000. So at that point, Coco tweets, well, she posts an IG live, an IG story that says tread lightly, okay? So another commenter had said, and this was posted by the Neighborhood Talk, it's one show. I don't understand the issue with co-headlining. Like, both groups are iconic, but y'all really tried to play with SWV. Everybody get paid equally, then go on about y'all business. So then Tiny commented and said, nah, because we don't make the same money on no show. The fee is worlds apart, respectfully. Okay? Baby, I told y'all this whole situation is, it's given drama. It's given major drama. We ain't seen drama like this from a reality TV show in ages, okay? Because everybody up in it. Because at the end of the day, we are fans of SWV and Xscape. So it's wild to see them going at it like this. But anyway, that's the tea. Now let's get into the review. Sky Squad, didn't I tell y'all this Xscape and SWV show was going to be lit? And lit it is. So honestly, I'm torn about what to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. A part of me wants to rate it a 10, but I'm like, am I being too generous? And then a part of me wants to rate it a 9 because I feel like that might be a more accurate reflection of what the feeling of the episode was, because we did get into some nitty gritty of things, and I feel like I'm giving it a 10, mostly for my excitement over a quasi element of R&B divas, which I keep asking for. Somebody need to make that happen. But anyway, I digress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet it halfway in the middle, and I'm going to give it a 9.5. I thought it was a good episode. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. There's a lot of talk about who sold the most albums, who should be headlining, and we're going to get all into the nitty gritty and the nooks and crannies of it. So buckle up, okay? And for those of you guys who are wondering why I'm not on camera, I am still traveling. And so we making it do what we do, how we can do it, all right? So just bear with a brother. Hopefully, the inflection of my voice is enough to carry this whole thing. But if not, still listen, okay? Still tune in, tap in, and be turned on, all right? So let's get into it. So first things first, Latasha, she's in the Nashville because she is trying to get that Motown record deal. So she happens to meet up with Taj, who Kawinky Dink lives in Nashville as well. So Taj takes her to the National Museum of African American Music, and they bond over their music history. Taj's main goal is to let her know, hey, girl, y'all are a part of the culture, and we need you as a part of that culture. So get on the good foot, okay? But Taj also wants to know what is going on with Latasha and her sister Tamika. And so Latasha goes in on this whole, well, they was body shaming me because, they say I got a little booty. And Taj is like, y'all fighting over some little booties. Let me tell y'all something. Little booties matter too, okay? Everybody don't need a donk. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Tasha's other issue that she says is that Tamika disrespected their mama. And Taj is like, now listen, it seems like there's a little more going on than that. And of course, she is right. Now, Tasha says that's it. And I'm like, there's a $30,000 elephant in the room that you are not talking about. And you know she's gonna see this show. So I don't know why you're not going ahead and mentioning that thing right now. Anyway, Tasha lets Taj know that she had a meeting for a solo deal and she is trying to step out and find some freedom and not fearing the outcome as she had done before. All right, so this whole situation to me, the more I listen to it, the more I hear about the previous experiences that she's had within the group. I told y'all this before. I kind of understand, sometimes you want to keep your moves silent while you're making them so that you can focus on making the move and less about making announcements and then dealing with what everybody else has to say. But I also feel like in this instance, Escape be doing whatever they want to do. Like 3 members will go off and do something without Kandi. You know what I'm saying? They'll perform without Tasha. Kandi will release legs, hips, and body all over again. And Tiny and Kandi got songs together. Everybody seems like they can still release stuff. So I don't understand what the big deal about it is and why she is being so secretive about it. Because what it seems like, based on what the other ladies are saying, is that this is the second time she's done this. And the first time she's done it, and these are allegations, that she began to distance herself when she really wanted to go off and do something on her own. And my thing is like this, girl, if you don't want to make that escape money, just start saying, I don't want to make this escape money no more. And I don't really want to perform with y'all no more. I simply want to do my own thing. Just say it and stop acting and taking us all through all this rigmarole. Meanwhile, we meet with Coco and her friends, Troy and Tamaya. She catches them up on what's going on their 30th anniversary coming up of SWV. And she does say that she was also diagnosed with bipolar depression in 2017. You know what? And this is one of those things where I do like it because, seeing somebody that we know and love and have been in love with her music for over 30 years, I kind of feel like to hear her talk about it so openly, I definitely feel like this is what I want to see more of on television. We talked about this with Love and Marriage DC, but also to see it on, the SWV and Escape, showing her talking about it so openly. I just felt like this is a breath of fresh air. And this is something that is totally needed in the reality TV space. Listen, I know I am always going to be in love with Housewives, but I will tell you that there is something about the freshness of this show that makes it a pleasure and a joy to watch, because I feel like we are getting to know some of our favorite R&B artists in a completely different way. And I love the way that they're telling this story. Anyway, she goes on to talk about how she had to take medication for it. Then they deviate into a topic that I really don't even be caring to talk about, because they talk about age and whatnot, and she talking about how she 52, but the kitty cat is about 21. And I'm like, I don't really know if I need to hear all that, but all right, here we are. Anyway, SWV they got to get together for a show in Pittsburgh. So we do get some scenes of Taj in Nashville packing and in the airport. We get some scenes of Coco packing and in the airport. We get some scenes of Lily. Everybody is about to meet up in Pittsburgh so they can do this show or whatever. And they kind of reflect on how touring is a little bit different now that they're older versus when they were younger, and the things that they could do. They could party and drop it like it's hot and still go out on stage and perform. But now they got to worry about what they're going to eat. They can't get the acid reflux, the indigestion. They got to be a lot more careful. I do think that it's very interesting to watch how they are able to maneuver, having their lives in separate states, but also knowing how to come together and put on a show. And they seem to do so with relative ease. Like they just seem like they got it easy going. I guess they got all they fighting out at the beginning of their relationships with each other, back in the beginning of the day. Meanwhile, Tamika has to have this ponderosa with her mama. We didn't talk about this a little bit, but we're going to go over it a little bit more today. So this is where Tamika's mama tells us that she's the 5th member of Xscape. The whole idea is to figure out where they are right now. And, Tasha feels like not Latasha, but Tamika feels like she's basically the redheaded stepchild, and her mama always taking Latasha's side. And mama is like, I was the fifth member of Xscape, because it's a callback to something that Tamika said to her in their argument in the season premiere. So Miss Mama is the fifth member of Xscape. Oh, yes, she was there holding the microphone. She was taking them to rehearsal. She was there when their daddy left her with nothing but no food on the table or nothing. And Tamika's like, you know what? She looking at me and she see the man that left her because I'm a daddy's girl. And it's such a revelation. So then what's interesting, they get to talking about the whole Rocky situation. Miss Mama is like, they ain't take your money. It's like, Mama, is you just saying this because you don't want Tamika to look bad on TV, but you're not really willing to listen to what Tamika is telling you that she know in her heart, or at least she believes to be true, right? So that's interesting to me. Also, what was interesting was that Tamika was like, listen, Mama, you said that I disrespected you and I'm sorry. However, if you're going to continue to disrespect me, then I'm going to have to take a step back. Oh, Mama's tune changes, baby. Mama tune done change. I mean, she went from treble clef to bass clef. Let me tell you something. Miss Mama was like, oh, Tamika, look at me. I love you. I love me some you. And if you feel like I was favoring to Latasha over you, then I'm sorry. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, she's sorry, but it sounded like it was true. Anyway, so they hug it out, and I'm pleased with Tamika for standing her ground. You know what? People often talk about this, like sometimes you have to know when to cut people out of your life. And sometimes those people may be your family, and you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. And I hope to God that Tamika never has to get to that point where she does have to do so. But Miss Mama and the way she be talking to her, I don't really care for it. But that's just me. Anyway, okay. Kandi is at one of her cribs. I don't know where she at, the candy factory, the outhouse. What is she? Her and Tiny got so many places you never know where they be. So anyway, Taj is about to come through. Now Taj from SWV. So they recap the trip to Africa, and Taj spills the tea that Latasha was in Nashville with Motown looking for some options for a record deal. Kandi's like, you know what? She did the same thing back in the day. Okay. She didn't want to say she was out the group because she wanted that safety net in case things didn't go well with that solo deal, because they didn't before. So apparently we learned from Taj that Coco did the same thing. But then Taj says, let's go ahead and get some rehearsal time going so we can all meet up. So we switch over the scene to Lily and her son. She's out. This scene to me was really, really good because her son wants to be a rapper, and we really get into something that I love about Lily. And I'm going to tell you what I also love about Taj. I love that Lily is such an around the way type of girl. Like, she is so open about her experiences in such a casual way. This is the type of thing that you want on a reality TV show. We learned that she was sleeping in her car after SWV broke up. She ended up going back to school to get her GED. We learned that she had an office job. And baby, let me tell you something. I just feel like every episode I learn more and more about these women. I am more and more impressed. And I just thank God that they had the music to come back to. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a real dope scene. Now, Latasha is in the studio, and I must admit that this solo thing is a bop. It was a bop. I didn't mind it now. But she ain't signed to Motown quite just yet, but she is optimistic. So that's when the Latasha Whisperer shows up, and the Latasha Whisperer is AKA Rocky. All right. Apparently, she get a text from Kandi about a rehearsal with SWV so they could talk about the show. But he wants to know what's up with Tamika. So she ain't talked, to Tamika or Xscape about what she's doing because she don't want to jinx it. But my thought about it is everybody else got these other little solo projects and things going, and you talking about you don't want to jinx it. It just feels real like underhanded to me. Granted, she is a grown woman. She ain't got to tell nobody her business. But especially with Rocky asking her about it, it's like, girl, come on now. Like, just be above board with this whole situation and let the people know what's really going on, because all this denying and not telling the tea is like, it's getting old for me. So he tells her, you need to go and you need to grab the mic and remind these girls who they messing with. So we get a scene with Coco and her son, and basically the gist of this scene is that she wants him to continue dental school, and Coco's son does not want to go to dental school. He want to sing. She like, you gonna have to tell your grandma about this. So he get on the line with her, tell her, Miss Ma'am, I don't want to sing. I don't want to go to dental school. Let me take a year off and figure myself out. And Miss Grandma is like, okay, baby. And Coco looking like, what? Now see, you weren't supposed to do all that. You were supposed to chastise him and make him stay in that dental school. But Grandma's like, listen, baby, do what you want to do. It's going to make you happy. At the end of the day, that's how I feel. For me, for real, like knowing what I know now about, college and specialized. Listen, well, here's the thing. If you want to go into like certain fields, if you want to go into, yes, go get that specialty. But college as a thing, I don't know about it. I don't know about it unless it's specialized education. But a lot of people end up going to college and they come out of college in all this debt. I feel like if college didn't accrue so much debt, then it would definitely be worth it. But with the amount of debt that people are accruing in college at such a young age, I don't like it. I don't like it not one bit. Meanwhile, SWV is practicing and we are a month away from this potential show. So Taj revealed that they are ready to go, whether Tasha does this thing or not. And I love it because the phrase is one monkey don't stop no show. Okay, that is the phrase. Now note when I say that, because I know somebody going to misconstrue it, it is a metaphor. Okay, it's a metaphor. We ain't calling nobody no monkeys around here, period. All right, so listen. Kandi and Tiny are hopeful that everybody will show up, and Kandi reveals that, that she told Tiny that Tasha was trying to go solo again. So Tiny has noticed, so that's why she's been so resistant to making any forward motions with this tour and anything else dealing with Xscape, because she is now more interested in doing her solo thing. So anyway, everybody arrives and Latasha arrives and she seems like she's in better spirits today. And I can't help but think, and I told you guys I was going to say this earlier about Lily, but I feel like Taj is the perfect reality television personality because she is really a very good go-between between the ladies, and she manages to spill tea without coming across as being messy. And I really like that. She does mix it up a lot with the ladies from Xscape. So I feel like we get to see a lot more of Taj with the rest of the ladies. And Coco and Lily seem like they're off in their own space, right? So the show is going to be a one night only type of thing. And everybody is in except Latasha's a little hesitant. And everybody is happy for the moment because they decided that they want to do it. Well, that's not going to last for long. So Kandi wants to know who is going at the top billing. Because last time when they've been headlining their tours, the people fall up under them. So SWV management is like, well, it should really be a co-headlining thing and just keep it moving. And Kandi wants to have top billing on any tour that they're on, because let's just break it down. If we are looking at this as in the reality of the situation, like in real life, there comes a point where there has to be a business discussion, because typically every show has a headliner. Typically. Not all shows, but most shows do. And so it really is imperative to have that conversation about who's headlining. Just even as a DJ coming from that space, I totally get it. I understand having to have the discussion. True enough, I felt like for this one night only, they could have done a co-headlining thing. But as per business etiquette, it is usually good to have these conversations ahead of time to make sure that people understand, A, this is what we believe and this was what we want. And I don't know what you guys want or what you guys believe, but let me tell you something. SWV was not here for it at all. Like at all. All right. And Coco's really like, I'm about to pass on this thing. And Taj is like, we should really be co-headlining. So Tiny says that SWV doesn't have the fan base or the following that they have, but they do have the hits. Okay. They got the catalog of hits. So Taj also acknowledges that in the 90s, Xscape was not headlining nothing, according to her. But now that Tiny and Kandi are on their respective TV shows, it does make sense why they would be headlining their tours. But this ain't their tour. This is a one night only type of deal. So Tiny's like, well, this is really about business. And Kandi does try to smooth things over. But I think that the ladies from Xscape, I mean, not Xscape, but SWV are so incensed that they're just kind of like over it. So Taj at that point in time just basically states the obvious. Y'all want to be paid more than us because that is typically how top billing works. Whoever's at the top gets paid more typically. At that point, Coco and Lily are like, we got to go to the bathroom because this is feeling like a nightmare. Coco is not opening up for nobody, at least not today. Anyway, she says she sold 30 million records, B. She ain't nobody's opener, except for, those other times she opened. Anyway, Tiny says that maybe it wasn't the proper way to bring it up, but the conversation did need to happen, and Taj feels completely disrespected. Personally, I just feel like concede for this one thing because y'all doing it for the TV show. Just co-headline it. One night only. Bada bing, bada boom. However, what you should probably note is that now that SWV and Xscape are also on a show, if they do co-headline, it could potentially set a precedence for what happens in the future. So Xscape is probably thinking we want to keep our headlining status because the moment that we don't is the moment we are no longer considered headliners, potentially. And I think that could also be something that's going into this as well. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below, as I know that you guys will. Co-headliners, or should one group headline and the other group not? Let us know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next video. So I'm Richie Skye, the author and publisher of The Wickedest Wives, Desiree's Desire, which is book 1 in a series. This book is about redemption. It's the story of a disgraced journalist who has lost everything. And now she has to rebuild her life brick by brick. And what better way to do that than to join a reality TV show? Why not? Now, not only are we talking reality TV, so there's gonna be scandal, there's gonna be a little bit of deception, backstabbing, a little romance, and why not throw in a sprinkle of murder to really round out the excitement? So I really want you guys to dive headfirst into these books. Desiree's Desire is just the first of many to come. So I'm super excited for you guys to read this, and I want to know exactly what you think. So be sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.